So this is my Java Swing code connected to the database, a final project for object-oriented programming too. So my code is titled Inventory Management System. So this is for inventories to track your things you have in stock, like their names, how many you have, and how much each costs. So at the very beginning, this line tells us that this code belongs to a package called Inventory Management System. Think of it as a folder where all related files are kept together. Next section, we have these imports like gathering tools for our project. So this swing is for creating the graphical user interface or GUI. Next is SQL for connecting to and interacting with the database where our inventory data is stored. Now we have defined our main class. Next is the sum. We have set up some constants for connecting to our database. We specify the URL. The URL of our database. So where do we find this? We have it in the so here in the properties. Next, this is the link we copied, then put it in the here so that it will be connected to the database. Then we have the password, user and password. Next to that is we declare the components that we will use. We declare the components that will make up our user interface. First is the JFrame. This is the main window of our application. Next is the JText field. These are the input boxes where users can type in item details like name, quantity, and price. The J button is for the actions like adding, updating, deleting, and clearing items. While JTable, this is where we display the list of items in our inventory. Lastly, the default table model. This helps manage the data in the table. Oh my god. Wait. Next, we have the constructor. This is the constructor. We initialize everything. When we create an instance of the class, it sets up the user interface, connects to the database, and loads any existing inventory data into the table. So here, we create the main window. Here we create the main window titled Inventory Management System, set its size, and make sure it closes properly when the user clicks the close button. So this exit on close. Next, we create labels and JText fields for user input. We create labels for each field like item ID, item name, and etc. The text item ID field is set to be non-editable because it will be auto-generated by the database. So next we have created buttons for our user actions. These buttons will allow users to add new items, update existing ones, delete items, or clear the input fields. So next we create a panel. We create a panel for the input fields and use grids layout to arrange them neatly. Each field is added to the panel in a structured way. Here, we create a table model that defines the columns like ID, name, quantity, and price. The table is set to be non-editable, meaning users can change the data directly in the table. We wrap the table in a scroll panel to allow scrolling if there are many items. Here we have created a panel for buttons. This panel holds the action buttons and arranges them in a flow layout. Next, we add everything to the main window. We organized this section. We organize the input panel at the top, the table in the center, and the buttons of the window of the table. Next, after that, we define what happens when buttons are clicked. Each button is linked to a specific method that handles its action. For example, clicking the add button will call the add item method. Over here, we allow users to select a row in the table. When a user clicks on a row in the table, the details of that item are loaded into the input fields, making it easy to update or delete. Next is that this method establishes a connection to the MySQL database. If it fails, an error message is shown. The program exits. Next, we load existing inventory data into the table. This method retrieves all items from the database and populates the table. If there's an error, it shows an error message. So this includes it. Next, This method check, yeah, this one, the add item. This method checks if all fields are filled, converts the quantity and price to numbers, and then adds the new item to the database. If successful, it refreshes the table and clears the input fields. Next to it is the update item. This one. This method updates an existing item in the database. It checks if an item is selected, validates the input fields, and executes an SQL statement to update the item. After updating, it refreshes the table and clears the input fields. Next to it is we have this method, the delete item method, to allow users delete an item from the inventory. It checks if an item is selected, asks for confirmation, and then executes the delete SQL statement. If successful, it refreshes the table and clears the input fields. Then next to it is the clear fields method. This method resets all the input fields and clears any selection in the table, making it ready to input. Then over here, this method simply shows the main window when called. Lastly, we have the main method. This is where the program starts. It creates an instance of our inventory management system and makes it visible. The swing invoke later ensures that the GUI is created on the event dispatch thread, which is the proper way to handle GUI updates in the swing. So let's finally run the code. So when we run the code, this is how the site looks like. Item ID doesn't need to be filled up since it will automatically inputted based on the numbering of items, and it is also auto-generated. After filling up the available boxes, let's fill it up. Let's try matcha. Let's put matcha. Quantity 4, price is 20. Let's put decimal because we put it in our database so that it is required with decimal. Okay, then click add button, then click OK for confirmation. So that's here we see that our input is recorded. Next, if you wish to delete an item, just click it, then click delete button, then yes for confirmation, and OK, then you'll see that it is deleted. But if you wish to your item to be updated or to edit an item, you just click it, then edit any of those that you wish to edit, then update, then OK. So now let's see the database. Okay, so next let's go to the database to see if the input is recorded. So let's see here, then refresh. Oh yeah, this is already recorded over here. So this is what you see in the database. So I guess that's all. Thank you for listening.